Hello, welcome to another episode of Unflattering Videos with Sharam. In this video, we're going to be talking about the concept of weight loss through meditation, or really weight loss through contemplation, and the technology, the emotional and spiritual technology I've been working towards, and some lessons I've learnt along the way. Generally speaking, when there is an aspect of us that we have witnessed and let go, we gain mastery over that aspect of us. The other general thing is that if there is something that you want in your life, it is almost witnessed as a universal law that you must make space for it. I've had mentors almost just yell that at me with such beautiful enthusiasm that it's almost hard not to see that in your own life. But in the past, when working as a dating coach with many people, what I would find is that once a person has dealt with a deep emotion, has experienced it fully, let it run through them like water through a pipe, they make emotional space for someone new, and very soon they either meet someone who doesn't always have to be the main course in their life, but they do meet someone. It's always very, very interesting to see that. So during the coronavirus period, what I have done is I spent a lot of time meditating, learning how to let go of emotions. And to some extent, without a better word, I've become a student of letting go, because I would see that I would learn how to let go of anxiety and suddenly become more social, learn how to let go of pain and suddenly become more empathetic towards others, learn how to witness my own issues and then let them go slowly one by one and becoming more of a whole person, which is very, very, I would say, interesting. When I finally understood how to let go of emotions, within the first 2 weeks of that process, a lot of my childhood anxiety had disappeared. And if you are curious about destroying anxiety, we can set up a coaching call. You can message me or email me. There'll be links in the description or whatever. But I'm now at an interesting process where I wanted to apply this concept that if you want to make space in your life, you must if you want to make something in your life, you must make space for it. And that one of the best things to make space in your life is the emotional space, by clearing out the attachments we have to our emotions. So I then set on this journey, which I had been for a while, to be honest, but now it's hit a new gear, about trying to meditate to weight loss. It seems a little bit too good to be true. Can you just be at peace and go, oh, and suddenly let the weight drop? Truth be told, meditation to weight loss, it's not really the goal. I would say it's not really the goal, because life brings you things. It's not easy enough, it's not widely applicable enough to say I would just like to eat less. Because truth be told, sometimes you're going to want to eat more. If you're a bodybuilder, you would obviously want to build more muscle and gain, and you would do that through overeating. Calorie surplus. What we then decide that we want, as opposed to weight loss, is aligned eating. Aligned eating. And through my journey with letting go, learning to help myself through this and others make emotional space for things by letting go of the attachments we have and the emotional payoffs that we have, I have then discovered that aligned eating is a matter of time. to eat aligned, to not have these guilty, oh God, I'm going to have eat this, oh, I feel so sad, I have to eat. The truth be, it's, to summarize a huge wealth of knowledge very quickly, and then I'm going to talk about my journey as well with this process. I've only got 10 minutes to do this in, so I'm going to do my best. To summarize a huge wealth of knowledge very quickly is that if you are doing an eating habit not very aligned, it's because there is some suppressed shit that you are not dealing with. If you are overeating and you are not happy with overeating, you are using eating to get to some suppressed emotions, bullshit, grief, anxiety, guilt, and you are using food to get to that emotion. So you can witness it and let it go and make space for something new. That's the general principle, right? That if there is something you are doing that you are not happy with, that you know in your heart's heart and your higher self that you are not living your destiny, then there is an emotion that is being suppressed that needs to be let up, witnessed, and let go. Very, very simple. The first step in my journey was to let myself eat the foods that I had told myself were bad. Not only that, was to shed the layers that other people had told me were bad. They say sugar is bad. Yes, sugar probably isn't the best for us, but there might be times where sugar is. You know, for example, you bake a cake for someone who just really needs a cake right now. Might not be good for you in that moment. Might be good for someone else. I like to use the metaphor of yelling. Yelling at someone generally would be considered not the best. But if you're going to yell at someone who is about to be hit by a bus, it might be considered something useful. So the foods themselves are innately not evil. I say this as a bit of an obvious statement, but it's important to recognize that there usually is a part of us that will say, this food is bad, this food hurts me. There was a time through this process that an old habit popped up, where I was allowing myself to eat, forgiving myself for this process. I clearly have a lot of shit around eating. And I would go into a shop and buy a whole packet of prosciutto and just eat it in my car. I was dealing with guilt. The final frontier that I have now observed to truly gain mastery over your body and over your eating is to process the grief that we have. When you process the grief and there is nothing left there, nothing left in that emotional spectrum, space of your heart. I'm trying to speed this up because we're running out of time. You raise your eating vibration. This is my theory behind why people do a diet and then they bounce back to normal. Sure, your body's not ready for it. You've starved it, whatever. But because you are not operating at your base vibration of eating, you will always return. Not always. If you've tried to make some life, you're like, I'm going to willpower my way through it. But if you're like me, willpower is no longer enough. You want it to be easy. You want it to be effortless. You want it to make sense, and you want it to be automatic. Once the grief is handled around a particular area of food, you raise that vibration, you make space for something, you raise it, and that's your new standard. There's a million stuff for me to talk about this thing, but if you want me to talk about it more, please leave a like and tell me that you liked it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.